Welcome! This is Scruffy and I am Jude, and we're going to be thinking today about saints and specifically how the example of a saint can help a Christian to live their lives. Now today we're going to be thinking about those in great detail, but I think Scruffy's very excited about something. Oh, what's this, Scruffy? Oh, look at that lovely piece of artwork. Did you make that? You did. It's for you to put on your window. I wonder if you've made a piece of artwork to put in your window too. Oh, it's very important. Well, shall we see what it says on it? It says, "Thank you, NHS." Oh, that's lovely, Scruffy. You made this to go onto your window. Oh, it's because you think that all the doctors and nurses are particular heroes. Oh, I agree with that. Do you think they've been brilliant too? Oh, well, that's lovely. Lovely to say thank you and lovely to put a picture in your window too. But what is it, Scruffy? You want to be a nurse when you grow up. Oh, that's amazing, Scruffy. That's because you've seen how good they are. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. You see, by looking at someone and by wanting to be like them, well, that makes them out to be a role model. And that means that we want to become more like them. So you, Scruffy, you want to become a nurse. That's amazing. I wonder what you would like. Have you got a role model, someone who you think is a hero that you'd love to be like? Have a little think and chat to the people around you. So today we're going to be thinking about saints and specifically as to how we can follow them and have them as our role model, someone that we get to follow and be a bit like. Now, in order to help us, I think we need to play a game. Do you think so? Yeah, I thought so. So we're going to stand up. So can you stand up for me? And we're going to play a really quick game of Simon Says. Now remember, if I say Simon Says, you've got to do it. But if I don't say Simon Says, you've got to make sure you don't follow my rules. So here we go. Are you ready? So Simon Says, tap your head. Simon Says, do star jumps. Simon Says, run on the spot. Simon Says, stop. Oh, well done. Really good listening. Let's see if I can catch you out now. Simon Says, hop on one foot. Simon Says, spin around. Simon Says, sit on the floor. Stand up. Oh, did I catch any of you out? You shouldn't have stood up. Okay then, Simon Says, stand up. Simon Says, reach up high. Simon Says, touch your toes. Touch your nose. Did I catch any of you out? Oh, well done. You can sit down now. So I wonder if you listened to everything I said. And when I said Simon Says, to follow those rules. Well, as we know, we found out in last lesson that a saint is someone who loves Jesus and tries to be like him, tries to act like him and have the same character on the inside, like being caring and kind and sensitive and generous and all those things. Well, that's what a saint tries to do. And remember, anyone who believes in Jesus is a saint. But we also thought about patron saints, people who are very good at following Jesus and following his example and in a very special way. And I wonder who it was that you found out about. You were thinking all about St. Francis, were you? Oh yeah, he's a fabulous saint, all about animals, as I know that you love, don't you, Scruffy? Well, we have got our saints that we can follow as examples. So I wonder how Christians look at saints and see them as good role models. Well, I want to tell you a story about a very famous saint. You might have heard of him. His name is St. Paul. Oh, you've heard of him, have you, Scruffy? I wonder if you know anything about him. He changed his name. He did. He had a name called Saul, and then he changed it to Paul. And we're going to find out why. Now, Saul hated Christians. He hated everyone who loved Jesus and followed them. In fact, he didn't like them so much that he would get special letters written so that he could go out into the towns and find any of the Jesus followers and get them put in prison. He loved to get them into trouble and get rid of them. But one day, as he was travelling, he was going from one city to another, and he was on the road to that city of Damascus. And as he was travelling along the road, suddenly there was a bright light around him, and he fell to the floor. And then he heard a voice. It was the voice of God. "Saul, Saul, why are you hurting me?" "Oh, who is it, Lord?" said Saul. "It is me, Jesus, and I have chosen you to be my chosen person, to go and tell everyone all about me." Well, Saul couldn't believe his ears. And when he went to get up, he noticed that he couldn't see anything at all. He was completely blind. And the friends around him, why, they had heard the sound, but they hadn't seen the light. And so they helped Saul to get up, and they helped lead him because he couldn't see where he was going. And so Saul was taken to the city. And for 3 days, he didn't do any eating. He just prayed and prayed and prayed. Now, at the same time, God was speaking to another person. His name was Ananias, and he told Ananias to go and find Saul and pray for him. So Ananias went, and when the man prayed for Paul, why, what looked like fish scales fell from his eyes, and he could see again. He realised there and then that he had met Jesus, that Jesus was real, and that he wasn't going to go around trying to hurt Jesus' followers, but he became one of Jesus' followers. In fact, so much so that Saul changed his name to Paul to show how his heart had changed, and he went around telling everyone all about Jesus. In fact, he told so many people that he ended up in prison himself. He came to know that Jesus was the person he was going to follow, and that he was going to tell everyone about it. So there in our story, hopefully you heard how Saul met God on the road, and how by meeting him, he changed his life around. Now, Christians believe this story and believe it to be true. In fact, you can find where Paul went. If you go to Rome and you go to other countries, you can see the trails that Paul walked through to see where he went, telling others all about God. So for Christians, those people who believe in God, well, they see this example of Paul as being an incredible one, because most people think that saints are perfect. And the truth is that everyone makes mistakes. Do you make mistakes? I know that I do. But this story helps Christians to know that even when we mess up, even when we don't start out doing the right thing, why, we can change our lives around and start doing what we believe to be right. And also for Christians, just like the example of Paul, part of it is to tell others about Jesus. And so Christians can look at the examples of saints and see what it is from their lives that they want to follow, a bit like Simon says. And it's a bit like our Scruffy here wanting to become a nurse because he can see what they do, he loves what they do and wants to be like it. So today we have learnt that Christians look at the examples of saints. They look at their lives and try to follow them and try to become like them. They are their role models. So I'd love to challenge you to think, who's my role model? Who's my hero that I might want to act like and become like? And what could you do in order to become more like them? Well, today we have learnt all about how Christians use the examples of saints and how saints love and follow Jesus, and that Christians try to do the same thing.
You're a saint. If you were to become a patron saint, what would it be for? How would you act? What would you take care of? Draw a picture and tell us about yourself. For example, I would be the patron saint of because. Following a saint. Think about a saint that you know from last lesson. How is this saint a role model to Christians? Hint, Think about how they behaved and treated others. Simon Says. Play a few games of Simon Says. How easy is it to follow instructions? What rules do you like to follow and what do you not? Challenge. Who can you listen to and follow this week? Can you complete these tasks?